Hey guys, this is Storm Productions, aka on the 4673, and as I promised, here is another quiet video. I apologize. Really? Sorry. At least it's for the entire video and not just the last third like the last video. I really feel bad about that, I'm sorry. I hope you enjoy this game as much as I do, because it's all that's coming out. I'm sorry. Like, I know how awful it is when Let's Players play something you're not interested in, and you just have to wait for them to finish. Maybe I should start another playthrough. I don't have time, I'm sorry. This is pre-recorded stuff, as I said. I'm just trying to think about the future thoughts of you guys. You're growing all the time, so yeah. Anyways, we had this choice, and I think I'm gonna start with this one, and then go this one if that's not okay. Great, let's go. Perhaps it would be best for me to talk to someone who was close to Heisuke and Saito. I'd only known them since I'd come to Kyoto, and their departure was making me miserable. The rest of Shinsengumi had known them much longer than that. How were the closest of them feeling? Okay, let's not take those. I thought that would be Nakagura and Harada. Damn it. That's why I saved, because I am a clever bloke. Girl thing. Someone high ranking? The heads of the Shinsengumi seemed like the best people to ask, but they were still talking in the common room. Perhaps I should wait until they were done. That was Hichikata. Don't want to talk to him either. Boom. And then I guess Soji is someone neutral. Wouldn't have guessed. Well, I guess. Soji's... Okay, so really... Alright. If I wanted a fair assessment, I need to talk to a neutral party, and my best guess that would mean Okita. He was close to Kando and Hichikata, of course, but he seemed to stay largely aloof from political disputes. That is correct. He'd be able to give me a rational explanation. Okay, Okita's room it is. Oh, Yukimura, were you going somewhere? Yes, I was going to see Okita. You need something from him? Yeah, I suppose I want to ask him something. Do you know where he is? I think he's over in the courtyard. Thanks, I'll go see if I can find him. You look great in that. Just looking great today, Yamasaki. Keep looking great. I like you. Bye. Just don't forget you were hurt last night. You can't push yourself too hard. Thank you. I love you. He's smiling. I love you. Just as Yamasaki had said, Okita was in the courtyard. He stood out, gazing across the garden in a way. He looked more like an innocent child than Okita feared of running out of Kyoto. Okita. Damn, didn't even send you a present until you said something. Must be getting rusty. He laughed like a child caught in a prank. At this rate, you'll kill me before I'll kill you. Please don't joke like that. You know you're not feeling well. I know you're not feeling well. So I've got a bit of a cough. Doesn't mean anything. And you have what you need. Huh? I don't think you came here to lecture me on my health. You want something. Oh, right. I heard that Ito and some of the men are leaving, so... Did you hear that Saito and Heisuke are going to go with him too? Yeah, next time we run into them, we'll probably have to kill each other. He said it so casually that for a moment I was at utter loss for words. Kill each other? Are you serious? This is Heisuke and Saito we're talking about. Well, if they aren't my enemies, then I probably won't have to kill them, but if they end up fighting the Shinsengumi, then they won't be getting any favors from me. But you've been friends for so long. Maybe, but we're killers first and friends second. Oh shit, what did you say? That's my job anyway. Honey. My wound healed completely soon afterward, but I kept the bandage on. I got plenty of questions about how I was recovering, but the best I could do was nod, smile, and assure them that I was fine. The truth was, I didn't even have a scar. I couldn't have pointed out where on my arm I'd been cut if someone had asked me. Benito and his followers, now the guardians of the imperial tomb, left the compound. The compound seemed suddenly very empty. I felt like the Shinsengumi was falling apart around me, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Was there nothing more than a natural result? There's nothing more than a natural result of the Shinsengumi's growth, or the harbinger of something far greater and more terrible. I don't know, honey. Is this a bit further? I can't remember. God. I should go to sleep, as if trading myself would help. My mind was wide awake, but I wasn't falling asleep anytime soon. But why? I was nervous, certainly, and I'd trained earlier that day, but neither of those things was anything new. I'd need to go to sleep soon, or I'd oversleep in the morning, and that would be embarrassing. As I forced my eyes shut for the 1000th time, I heard the door to my own slide open. Please be Ogita, please be Ogita. Are you awake? Ogita, Ogita, Ogita. Yes. Ah. The voice outside belonged to Hijihara. I scrambled to my feet. What is it? You have a visitor. A visitor? Who would come to visit me? You'll see. Hurry up. Right. Sen-chan? I shuffled down the hallway after him and burst into the common room. Kando, Okita, Harada, Nakagura, all of the top men of the Shinsengumi were there, and someone else. Hey, Sen-chan! Hello, Chizuru, how are you doing? Sen. My visitor was Sen? We'd met in Kyoto proper some time ago. She was near my age, but had a unique and overwhelming personality which had allowed her to see right through my disguise. But why had she come to the Shinsengumi? Oh, that's her. Oh, she's so much more beautiful in the sprite. She's kind of weird in the anime. Wow. Only then did I notice a beautiful woman dressed as a ninja seated next to Sen. Oh, yes, she's with me, my bodyguard, one might say. Bodyguard? That answered nothing and only prompted more questions. The captains kept silent, content to simply observe our conversation. Whatever was about to transpire, it seemed they intended to leave the decision to me. So, Sen, why are you here? I've come to take you. That had not been on the short list I'd begun to compile of reasons. Sen had sought my company in the middle of one night. A quick glance around the room revealed that it had not been on anyone else's either. Pardon? I don't understand what you're saying. No, what you don't understand is the situation, but you needn't worry. You do trust me, don't you? I certainly didn't suspect of anything untoward, but... There is no time. We shall make preparations to leave immediately. Silent until that moment, the woman at Set's elbow finally spoke. Wait, hold on. Why should I go with you? Yeah, that's a damn good question. You just barge in here, ask to see her, and then spring this on us. I think it's about time you told us what the hell is going on here. Please, Sen. I didn't let my gaze waver from her eyes. Yes, I suppose you do have a point. Very well, I shall begin at the beginning. She cast her gaze around the room. This explanation was not simply for my benefit. You're familiar with Kazuma, yes? I heard you have crossed swords with him once or twice. How'd you know that? Well, I hear most things that happen in Kyoto eventually. You're something like Kazuma and his punks, aren't you? I'd rather prefer not to be associated with his ilk, but in a sense you are correct. Fine, we were talking about Kazuma. He showed up at Ikidaya. Now it changed to Ikidaya. Hamaguri and Nijo. He's got something to do with Satsuma and Shoshu, doesn't he? Well, most of the time it seemed like he was there for his own reasons, not any kind of domain politics. Either way, he's an enemy of the Shinsengumi. Then you're also aware he's pursuing your lady friend here? Sen gestured at me for the captain's benefit, then fixed me with his level stare. What was going on? This was getting stranger and stranger, and I was starting to think I didn't really want to know the rest of the story. We are aware of that. We're also aware that Kazuma and his compatriots call themselves demons. Not that we've inclined to believe such a claim, of course. Regardless, we must consider it. They have demonstrated several times that strength and skill is beyond any human. Guess you'd know, huh, Shannon? The room grew slightly more uncomfortable. I didn't look as I had meant to offend with his remarks, but... So, go on, Sen. Then you know they're demons. Excellent, that will save me some time then. I'm not human either. I'm also a demon. A demon? Sen was a demon? I am in fact a princess. Princess Sen. In fact, she gave us an elegant bow, like one that might expect from a princess. I come from a family of ninja who has served Princess Sen and her family for generations. I wondered why you were being so friendly. You were gathering information on the Shinsengumi. I had no idea what you mean. She twiddled her head to the side positively and met Hijikata's glare with an innocent smile. You know her? Move your eyes up about 6 inches, Shipachi. Kimigiku. She's dressed a little different from when we met her at Shimbara, but that's the face alright. What? Nakagura fell over in shock. After recovering, he made a great show of staring pointedly at Kimigura's face, for afterward he received a smile, identical smile to the one Hijikata had received. We demons have lived in this country since a very long time ago. The top officials in the shogunate and many of the domains already know of us. It was still something of a shock, but after meeting Kazuma and his companions, it was somewhat easier to accept Sen's explanation as the truth. Most demons have no interest in human matters and prefer to be left alone to go about their own affairs in peace. However, humans in positions of power say they might achieve great things with the assistance of demons, and so demanded that assistance. And did the demons obey? Many did not. They felt they had no obligation to involve themselves in human affairs. Human ambition meant nothing to them. But when they refused, the human lords were furious. They sent out great armies to destroy villages of the demons. How horrible! The demon clans scattered across the country, and they were forced to send it to hiding. No longer isolated in their own communities, demons began to mate with humans. These days there are very few demons who can claim a pure bloodline. I can assume Kazuma is one of these. Sen nodded. Currently the largest pure blood family in the west is Kazuma, who has the support of the Satsuma domain. The head of the family is, you have already met, Chikage Kazuma. Chikage Kazuma. In the east, the largest family is the Yukimura. What? I heard the Yukimura family had been destroyed, but it was assumed there is a survivor. That survivor is her. Chisuru, the blood that runs in your veins is pure and strong. I sense a great power from you. No way, but No, you are very much a demon. I apologize. But there it is. I'm guessing the you there is because she started with I don't know. The finality of her words brought a cold silence to the room. I had no desire to believe her story, but the more I thought back to events that seemed utterly nonsensical, the more it made sense. Now I knew why Kazuma was after me, and why I'd always healed much more quickly than anyone else. Chizuru is indeed a descendant of the pure blood demon, and Kazuma's desire for her is clear. Should two pure bloods mate, they will produce an even more powerful demon. So, he wants her for his bride. After a fashion, yes. Kazuma will definitely return for her. Thus far he's been content to toy with you, but I cannot guess how much longer that may last. Should he devote his last formidable abilities to this task, I do not think he would be able to protect her. God. You know, I already knew this was gonna happen, but for some reason I feel like so... Sorry, moving a bit closer. I feel so, like, involved with the characters that I just feel like I feel their shock. It's so weird. Even the Shinsengumi cannot stand against the true power of a demon. Oh, there, princess, you don't think that's going a bit far? Shinpachi's right. You aren't giving us enough credit. The only reason you are still alive is because Kazuma and his companions have not turned their full strength on you. Then let them. I should dare to see the power of a true demon. Famine! Kazuma and his friends has already demonstrated incredible strength. Even the captains of the Shinsengumi have been easily brushed aside. If that was not even the full extent of their strength, then a battle to the death against one of them would be. Let me be clear, lady. We are the Shinsengumi, the wolves of Mido. We're not going to piss ourselves over a demon or two. Very true. Besides, we got the demon himself in command, don't we? Always have to have the last word, don't you? I understand how you feel, but you must realize that these men are unlike any other foe you have faced before. That is why I must ask you to leave Chizuru to us. In our care, her chance of survival will be much higher. Hey, give us a chance, alright. Are you trying to say we can't protect her? Besides, what do you mean chances? If you can't guarantee her safety, then I don't see why we should hand her over to you. Look, lady, you're not part of the Shinsengumi, so I could appreciate it if you kept your nose out of our business, alright? They had made it quite clear that they weren't interested in Sen's offer. Perhaps they'd been a little harsh, but I couldn't deny the warm feeling of being part of a family who was unwilling to let me go. What about you, Hichikata? You've acknowledged Kazuma's strength. Surely you must at least consider the princess's offer. Please, give Chizuru to us. That's different. Kimigiku's smile froze. I don't know how strong Aini really is, but that doesn't change the fact that we'll protect her in the name of the Shinsengumi. Besides, you're a demon too. Why should we trust you? Do you know who you're speaking to? Princess Sen is descendant of Susuka Gosen. Kimigiku, please, that's not necessary. Her tone was calm and friendly, but it left no room for argument. I agree with Hichika, but she should stay here with the Shinsengumi. Kimigiku glared at San, but said nothing. I see. That is the problem, then. There is no way I can convince you. Kondo had remained silent for most of the discussions as I unfolded and fought, but lastly he spoke. Yukimura, what do you have to say about this? Me? Well, I see. It must be difficult to discuss with an audience. You ought to speak with Princess Sen alone. What the hell, Kondo? Hichikata wasn't the only one to object. Most of the room rose up in protest. There should be at least one witness. The princess may take Kimigiku as well, of course. No, that's not necessary. Kondo swept his gaze across the room. Yukimura has shown herself to be reasonable. I doubt she won't do anything, foolish. Am I correct, Yukimura? Of course, I would never betray any of you. Well, if Kondo says so. His look spoke for the rest of them as well. They might not like it, but Kondo was the chief. What he said was to be followed. You won't steal her away the moment the two of you are alone, will you? You needn't worry. I'm not like Kazuma. It'll be fine. Sen is not a bad person. Why, thank you, Chizuru. She smiled. A few moments later, we found ourselves alone in my room. I know I've given you a terrible amount of things to think on this evening, and I'm awfully sorry. Now that we were alone, she was less formal. This was the Sen I had met in Kyoto all those months ago. No, it's alright. I'm sorry about, them. They said some pretty mean things. Well, that was to be expected, I fear. I was asking rather a lot of them and frightfully suddenly. Not many humans would accept the existence of demons so readily. But enough on that. On to business. What do you have to say of my offer? Have you thought about it? I had indeed. If Sen had come to me when I first arrived in Kyoto, I might well have taken her up on her hospitality. But now, Shinsengumi seems to believe that it can protect you, though I do not doubt their dedication, I confess I do doubt their ability. Perhaps what she said was true. To stand against demons would be no mean feat. Shinsengumi was powerful and skilled. I'd seen them face overwhelming odds and emerge victorious, but always those odds had been only human. The strength of even a single demon was something great and terrible, one that there was no doubt. We had all seen so firsthand, and some had even lost their lives to that strength. Even the captains had nearly fallen before them. Will you come with us then? It is dangerous for you to remain with the Shinsengumi. Sen. Her eyes were serious, but warm and honest. Whatever else she might be, her concern for me was real. Thank you, Sen, but... I hesitated. Is there a reason you wish to stay? Yeah. Oh my, one of those gentlemen perhaps. What? Her question had been entirely innocent, although it had caught me off guard. I couldn't possibly lie to her. Yup. Yeah. I nodded and did my best to look confident. I see, she smiled. Well, I shan't ask who, but I certainly understand your dilemma. That being the case, I couldn't possibly tell you to leave. Ah, she understands, a woman in love. Thank you for waiting. The common room was just as we'd left it, and every head swiveled to look at Sen and me as we stepped back in. It didn't look as though they'd tried to kill each other in our absence, but which was something of a relief. Have you reached a decision? Before I could speak, Sen stepped forward. After some discussion, we have decided to leave things as they are. Sen. She bowed deeply to the captains. Are you sure, Your Highness? Quite. And now, I believe it is of utmost importance to prioritize Chisare's desire. Very well, the Shinsengumi accepts responsibility for her well-being. No sooner were the words out of his mouth than all the captains rushed towards me. Just relax and leave it all to me. I'm sure Monsieur Patsy will give you all sorts of other things to worry about. Still, glad to have you around. What kind of girl would want to stay here? The kind of girl who's in love with you, Soji Ogata. That doesn't make you some kind of special guest. You get the same treatment as you always have. Yeah, and then he says it with that little smile of his. Oh, I love them all so much. Give me a big group hug. It's like group hug. Group hug, everybody. Right, thank you all of you for letting me stay. Sen took my hands in hers and let her eyes rest on mine. Do be careful, and remember, I am on your side. Thank you, Sen. She gave me one last warm smile, and then Sen and Kinigiko were gone. I really like Sen. She's like, oh, I love her. Once again, sleep refused to come. My mind worked furiously over everything Sen had told me, examining it from every angle. I was a demon. Not only that, but I had the head of a pure-blood demon clan that had been nearly destroyed, and my heritage was the reason the Kazuma had developed such an interest in me. Gosh, I had decided to stay with the Shinsengumi, but was that really the best idea? Should I have left instead? I wanted to stay, of course, and I didn't really think leaving was a reasonable choice, but what if I'd made a mistake? It wasn't an easy question to answer. The relentless flow of thought had at last begun to subside when I heard noise erupt from outside. Roars and shouts of battle accompanied by the sound of steel against steel echoed through the night. I'm sorry for bothering you so late, but this is an emergency. There was someone just outside my door. Shimada? Yes? The words was barely out of my mouth when the door snapped open and Shimada stepped into my room. His eyes darted back and forth nervously and his body was tense. Has something happened? He nodded. The demons have attacked us. Here. What? I leapt for the door, but he threw out an arm to stop me, and his eyes met mine. They're after you, which means you need to stay here. But... Oh my god, I don't know. Oh man, I'm about to do something really, really stupid. I have to go, Shimada. I can't let you do that. Those demons are here for me. If anyone gets hurt, maybe they'll listen to me. That's why they're here. Maybe I can convince them to leave peacefully. Please, I'm begging you, let me go. Shimada's brow furrowed and his mouth drew into a tight line, but at last he sighed and shook his head. Fine. I was told you to protect you, though, so if you're going, then so am I. Thank you, Shimada. You're a great friend. We ran out of the house, and then I paused momentarily, unsure of where to go. This way. One moment Shimada was there, the next he wasn't. He flew several yards in the air, then he landed on the ground, slid a few feet, and lay still. Shimada! I froze. Just where do you think you're going? The cold, flat voice. Chikage Kazuma. In the same instant that I recognized his voice, I felt his arms snake around my neck, pulling me toward him. I struggled, but his grip was immovable and as steel. Let me go! What sort of business do you have with false demons, huh? His voice was like a cold breath in my ear, and I could almost hear a sneer in his tone. No matter how much you give to these humans, they will betray you. You've seen the abominations they've created, haven't you? What could you possibly hope to gain from them? I was at a loss for words. The creation of the Furies was hardly something I approved of. But I wasn't a part of the I wasn't part of the Shinsengumi. What right did I have to criticize their actions? Especially when the very concoction they're allowed to create these false demons have been created by my father. Breaking into our headquarters, huh? That takes balls, but the fun's over now, pal. Hey, let her go. Hijikata, Harada! One thing that's a little annoying is that Chizuru is a bit a damsel in distress. But she can't really do much. Like, if she could break free, she would. So, I guess that's fine. Behind them I could see Yamasaki and several of the other Shinsengumi soldiers. Some of the men were missing them. Had they been injured by the demons? Perhaps even killed? You fools have no idea of her worth. She isn't the most valuable when used by a fitting partner. Can we, stop talking about Chizuru like she's some sort of toy? Like she's some sort of, oh my god, Game Boy or something? Like, oh my god, I can get to the most levels with this one, so yeah, you suck. Like, oh my god, Kazuma, you're great and all, but oh my god. If you're not that into her, then just if you're that into her, then just bring her flowers and stuff like a normal guy. This stuff's just creepy. True, the Shinsengumi had surrounded Kazuma by now, but his grip on me hadn't wavered even for a moment. She's worthless to you as a hostage. I have no intention of using her as such. She's my goal here, not as a hostage. The rest of you are simply obstacles. Crap. This sucks. God. Okay, I want to do a lot of things. The thing I want to do the most is try to attack. That's not gonna help, because I'm weak as fuck, we already know that. Trusting the Shinsengumi is good and all, but, Kazuma's stronger than them. Crap, so I'm gonna try to escape. I twisted my body back and forth, gathering up all the strength I could manage to pull against Kazuma's hold, but it was no use. This is pointless. Even with demon's strength, a male is stronger than a female. Kazuma didn't even look particularly strong, but his arm held as fast as timbered steel. We're so fucked. I am Same Kondo, chief of the Shinsengumi. Kondo appeared out of the dark, bounding across the grounds. The head of the Shinsengumi's chief will make an acceptable trophy, I suppose. Stay calm, I've come to save you. Be careful, he's not human! Oh, please, Kondo. fucking dolt! He swung his sword down in a hard cut towards Kazuma. I could have sworn I could hear the wind whistling past the blade as it moved. Kazuma turned aside in the last moment and the sound of steel on steel exploded in my ear. I felt the impact shudder through Kazuma's body, even as the clang turned into the hard metal grinding of sword sliding against sword. Sparks flew and Kando leapt back and struck again. Again, Kazuma's sword flickered up to intercept it. Marginally impressive, but I suppose the chief must by necessity have some skill. Kando's sword tore down through the air again, his face the picture of a furious god. Kazuma blocked his strike, but with me in one arm he couldn't go on the offense. You will return her to us. The sheer power of Kando's next blow drove Kazuma back a few precious steps. Suddenly I felt myself thrown to the side from Kazuma. Are you alright? No matter, hurry, get up. Yes. Kazuma offered a hand, which I used to pull myself up. With me out of his grasp, Kazuma was free to fight with both his hands, and had begun to push Kando back. Something wrong, he looked out of breath. I have enough breath to fight you. Chief, hold on, I'm coming. I'm coming too. No, you'd be a liability in the battle, not an asset. Go find a room inside and stay there. But what about you? Not in the mood for argument, Yamasaki instead grabbed my hand and pulled me towards the nearest door. With a last look of exasperation, he heaved me inside, frowned, and ran back to the battle. I'd expected to land on hard floor, but whatever I found on myself was soft. Gotta admit, I didn't figure you for this type of girl. His voice came from below me. Okita! Didn't think I'd be pushed down into bed tonight, at least of all by you. He was giggling. Suddenly I'd realized what the soft thing I'd landed was. When Yamasaki had thrown me into the room, he'd thrown me on top of Okita. No, this is just a mistake. I didn't mean, Yamasaki, it was an accident. I realized I'd babbled and shut my mouth with a snap. Oh, really? Tell me, how is it on top of me? Does it feel good? Well, I don't know about Chizuru, but I'm enjoying it. I've been so busy trying to think of an excuse, I hadn't realized I was still on top of him. I'm sorry. With a spit born of extreme embarrassment, I leapt off. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Silently, I thanked the darkness for hiding the ridiculous color my face certainly was. Come on, it hurts me when you apologize so much. Makes me think you hate me or something. No, it's not that. Embarrassed. Okita, what did you just say? It would have hurt him if he hated me? What did he mean by that? But my question was drowned by the noise of the battle outside. Yeah, that's a thing that's happening right now. But don't mind. Just continue with your little shoujo scene. I was waiting for this CG. I saw it on the back of the game. I was like, come on. Stop that, please. Okay, thank you. It's getting pretty serious out there. The demon showed up. Yes, that's right. I'd almost forgotten. I couldn't stay here. I know, I want to go out there and fight too, but Hichikata and Yamasaki get pissed. I don't need one mom, let alone two. Kendo's out there too, right? Though? Yes, but he's fighting one of the demons. Don't worry about him. He's an amazing swordsman. Way better than me. Okita's eyes shone with admiration and respect for Kendo. There was no question he trusted the man to win. Yeah, he trusts Kendo more than anything else, and it's so... He respects Kendo more than anything else, and it's just such an amazing... Well, if the demons get this far, then I'll get to find them. He grinned at me, the same grin I'd seen 1,000 times, but this time it felt lonely. But listen, you ought to stay away from me, okay? I'm not good for you. Yamasaki What did he mean by that? Yamasaki appeared some time later to tell us that the demons had retreated just as Okita had predicted. It seemed like morning came altogether too early. I sighed, splashed my face with cold water to clear my wits, and headed back for the common room. The captains and several other men were already there, including Inoue and Yamasaki. Good morning. They nodded or mumbled return greetings, but their faces were universally dour after the night's events. I heard Inoue and Yamasaki mention Shimada's name and edged over to listen to their conversation. How is he doing? The hit knocked him out, but aside from some bruises, he seems to be fine. He'll be back on duty soon. Oh, that's good. I sighed with relief and felt some of the tension leave my neck. If Shimada had been seriously hurt, guarding me. Oh, Chisude, Shimada wanted to apologize to you for not doing a better job. What? I'm the one who should be apologizing to him. I felt the conversation in the room ebb and turned to see Kando walk through the door. He was usually calm and collected, but today his face was especially stern. Something was wrong, but what? Uh-oh, what happened? You've got a scary enough face to begin with, Kando. Now you're just as terrifying. Look, you've been scaring her. No, I'm not scared. I waved my hands desperately and the men laughed. Sorry about that. He gave me a tight grin, but then looked down, his face grim. Please, just tell her what happened. Is it bad? Well, he'll find out soon enough, I suppose. He wasn't just talking to me anymore. The rest of the men moved closer to see what he had to say. Nishi Hanwanshi doesn't want the Shinsengumi here anymore. They're telling us to leave, you mean? Well, they didn't say it in so many words, but yes. I had a feeling this day would come eventually, but now that it's here, what should we do? The monks of the Nishi temple were imperialists and allies of the Choju. They'd never been fond of the Shinsengumi, but we decided to force our way into their temple anyway. It was no surprise they wanted us out, but I finally began to feel like the temple was my home, on a more practical level as well, as it was more convenient for work in Kyoto. I was sure I wasn't the only one who felt that way. Still, this is awfully sudden. Do you think last night's incident triggered this? I don't have to think, I know. They don't want fighting on the temple grounds. I'm sure someone else has a hand in this too. Shozu, maybe or Satsuma. The fight the night before had only happened because of me. I'm sorry, this is all my fault. Not true. We came to this temple and forced them to yield to our admittedly unreasonable demands. But what are we going to do? If we have to move, then we need to start looking for a new location. Actually, we don't. We're provided with a new site, courtesy of the Nishi Hanwanshi temple. That's awfully generous. They must really want us gone. Yes, on both counts, which is why I decided to accept their offer. Things are going to get busy around here soon. A plot of land was purchased for, and a new compound built, all paid for, by the Nishi Hanwanshi temple. It became the third headquarters of the Shinsengumi, the Fudodo village location. By the time summer came, the Shinsengumi had left Nishi Hanwanshi, and they'd spent more than 2 years. Wow, time really flies. November. God. A gust of wind stripped some of the last stubborn leaves from the trees and sent them skittering across the Kyoto street. It was cold and bit into me through my clothes. I shivered. It's almost winter, isn't it? Yeah, the wind's gone pretty cold lately. Still, we don't have it too bad these days. During the day, I can't imagine how cold it gets for the night guys. It was November and the temperature was definitely dropping, although it had yet to get cold enough for us to see our breath during patrol. Are your hands cold? Would you like me to hold them? I'm not that cold. I'll be fine. Oh! I noticed someone walking towards us. Hey, Chisude. Sano, what do you think you're doing? You're supposed to be working, not screwing off hitting on poor defenseless girls in the street. Hey, not everybody's a gigolo like you. She looked cold, so I'm trying to be a gentleman. Hello, Nagakura's patrol. It's so much easier to call him Shinpachi. It sounds better too. Patrol took him on a different route than ours, of course. It was only luck that we happened to meet in one of the few places they overlapped. The bickering might have looked odd to a passerby, but I knew it was the sign of a deep friendship it was. What's up? Why are you grinning like that? Probably thinking your face is funny, Shipachi. You really ought to do something about that thing. No, it's just I was remembering when we met up like this before, like the time I met Carter. I was with Okita and Heisuke, and then though, oh, more than 6 months has passed since Saito and Heisuke had left to join the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Harada and Shinpachi's faces turned grim as their hate trailed off. I shook my head, hoping vainly to cast off unpleasant thoughts. I mean, there's just so much going on lately, it makes me nostalgic. The Shinsengumi has changed. Hell, so has the rest of the world. Yes, like the shogunate handing power over to the imperial court. Nagakura nodded as I spoke with an air of a pleased teacher encouraging a student. Yes, very good. Now, do you know how much of the loss Ito and his foe was affected the Shinsengumi? We have fewer members now. You're half right. True, we have lost some of our men. Those who were staunch imperialists were the first to leave. That means most of the guys who stayed were loyalists. Not all of them, though. Yeah, you remember when Kondo got promoted into direct service to the Shogun, and we all became Shogun vassals? Not everyone was happy about that. That was still right around the time we moved to Fudoda village. Several more men had wanted to leave, but some of them had given the permission to go, but others were told that I wasn't an opportunist and was forced into the Fury Corps. Oh wow, Kondo's promotion had changed the Shinsengumi's relationship with the Shogun, where before we'd only been philosophically aligned with the Shogun, now we answered directly to him. For some people, that was a serious problem. How do you guys feel about being vassals of the Shogun? I'm not really a fan. Yeah, I didn't do all this work. I didn't do all this work just so I could become a retainer for the Shogun. Neither of them was very happy with it. Then Nakagura especially. We kept walking for a few blocks, talking about this and that, before Harada yawned quietly. Your drooning is putting me to sleep, Shinpachi. You can tell him to shut up if he's boring you, you know. No, I'm fine. I like listening to Nakagura talk about things. You see, Sano, she's a good girl, unlike you. Now, shall we continue? What do you know about the Meiji and Emperor's... I'm bored by it, to be honest. Blah blah blah. Unfortunately, Nakagura continued in doing so. He managed to anger both the Loyalist and the Imperialist factions. Earned a K, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry, but too much politics this late. I see. As I looked around the city, it seemed like he had a point. Nothing much seemed to have changed. Inns were still bustling with travelers, tea shops were still smelling delicious. Life continued as it always had, regardless of what the Shogun was or wasn't doing. The city might look the same as it always had, but time flowed on regardless, and a great wave was coming that would carry all of us away. I looked up at Nakagura. I'm always saying Nakagura for some reason, and something occurred to me that I hadn't thought before. Before I realized what I was doing, I'd already opened my mouth. I didn't realize she was so smart, Nakagura. You know a lot about politics. Didn't realize? Wait, what did you think of me? I have to end the episode here. End the episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.